Good morning and welcome to today's Warrior Shoutout, where we'll fill you in on what's going on around Thompson. So this past Saturday, we had the Miss THS Pageant, and it all went so well. And to crown Mallory Reach as our Miss THS was really cool.
It really was. And just overall, all of the contestants, all of the girls, the young ladies that were in it, you know, I can't say enough about just their poise and their courage. I mean, to do that, because you know, I've never been in a pageant, but I kind of have been on the inside to see how it works and to see all the preparation and all of the things that have to go just right for it to happen for them when they perform on stage, when they walk on stage, when they answer those questions, all the things that they have to do. It really is a challenging opportunity for them, but all of them will grow from it, and I'm so very proud of how each of them just represented themselves, their families, and THS. And you know, a big congratulations to Mallory, because she was outstanding, like a lot of the other girls were, and just so proud. It was another well done event, and I'm going to brag on you guys as well, on, you know, THS TV. And the job that you've done, because it was a very professionally ran event.
And I'm sure that all the girls had a ton of fun, so I'm really glad we got to do that. Yes. And FTA also had their state competition recently, and they were given multiple awards, and we even had some officers elected, so that was really awesome.
That's right. And you know, Kaylee Jones was elected the new state president, and of course Abby Grace Walker was the first vice president for the following school year. And Abby Grace is actually the president now. So we already have leadership at the state level in office there. And then of course Abby Donahue was elected to the state board. And this is huge, because you know, there's a lot of students and a lot of schools and chapters that are involved in FTA. And for our school, our chapter, to have so many students and leaders that are elected at the state level is very telling of the influence and the involvement and just the skills that our students have to be nominated and to be elected, and for them to have the initiative to do so. So very, very proud of FTA and what they're doing around the state.
Yes, and they even got the Best Community Service Award for their Magic Moments project, and that was such a cool thing to even get to see here, and then to see they got recognition for it was awesome.
Yes, I mean, that was a very special moment, and you know, at the pep rally, the announcement, the big reveal, and for them to earn that, I mean, there wasn't a better candidate for the award than what our kids and what our FTA group did for the young man who got to go to Disney, and just a very cool thing to see. And for us to be a part of that, you know, it's very humbling, but just very, very proud moment for all of us, and especially with FTA leading the way.
Yes, I agree. And HOSA recently got to go to their state conference, and I know they've been doing big things. You know, a lot of their interns are in hospitals now, so they're getting to experience a real life setting in their workplace. And then they also got to go to the state conference, where we have a president that is the president of HOSA, and then we also got many awards.
That's right. Fanny Immaterio is our sitting president. And at HOSA, the president in that cabinet, that office, they actually allow the students and the officers to run the conference. And so Fanny did a fantastic job of running the conference and making sure that everything was coordinated well and went off well in terms of events and competitions, and did a fantastic job. But we had several winners that are a part of our HOSA chapter that I wanted to recognize. Chloe Benedict was second place in the state for the pharmacy science competition. Asher Smith was second place in dental science. Sailor Lambert was second place in medical spelling. Aaliyah Johnson was sixth place in biomedical lab science. And then also we had some community service winners, which if they clocked over 100 community service hours, they were awarded the Barbara James Service Award for doing that. And so Jessica Tellez, Abby Roberts, Sailor Lambert, Elizabeth Angel, They all did a great job of community service and leadership through the HOSA program. And then several of those state winners are going to go on and to compete at the national conference as well. So a big month for HOSA, and they've done very well.
Well, it's very cool because they're preparing for their future, and it's also awesome that we have so many people going to the national level, because we're seeing, so many different groups get to compete nationally, and I'm excited to see what they can do there too.
Yeah, and and that's just a part of this process of growth that we're seeing here at Thompson High School, and we've always been heavily involved in state competitions, but now we're seeing more and more of our organizations and our students competing at the national level, which is very telling on the direction that we're going as a school and as a school system. Is we want a national brand, we want a national presence, and our students are obviously leading the way and helping us do that.
And another way our students are preparing for their future is through the Craft Academy, which we've talked about multiple times.
Sure.
And Brandon Shine even got February's Employee of the Month in welding.
That's right. And welding is one of the hot careers when it comes to skilled labor positions that are out there. And young people graduating from high school are getting very good, high-paying jobs in the field of welding, and Brandon is certainly doing that. And the way the craft sets it up is they have the Employee of the Month, and it's like a workplace. Everything that they do is simulated like a workplace. So Brandon getting this award or being the Employee of the Month for February, that's very telling, because that shows that he's going to be able to thrive in a true industrial working environment. And so we're just very proud of Brandon and the job that he's done.
For sure. And Will Vickers has made an impact through his Wild EP projects, and I think it's so awesome that he's benefiting not only our school, but people outside of our school, like senior citizens and children.
Of course, we had the Valentine's card program that he led, that he started, and the goal was to get maybe a couple of hundred cards. Well, he took this throughout the school, this initiative, and what it was to everyone write cards and deliver cards to our senior citizens that are in our care homes around the area, and assisted living, and they actually there were thousands of cards that were delivered from our schools and Thompson High School, and
so awesome.
Yeah, and he led that way, and so every member of our assisted living and care homes in Shelby County received a card because of that, which was just phenomenal. And then on top of that, we had a toy drive, which he is leading too, for Children's Hospital, and so the submissions of toys and the influx that we're receiving from donors and different people and different groups and organizations has been phenomenal. So he's done a great job of taking care of our senior citizens and also our children in the area.
Yes, and Sammy Chatham is also making an impact through YLDP. She had a canned food drive that was helping out families, which is just so beneficial, and it's awesome that she did that. Right,
and Sammy's been very active also in the Youth Leadership Development Program, like Will, and what Sammy has done has she made a tremendous impact on the canned food drive, which helps needy families in our area. But she's also made efforts to do like a 5K run and different things like, she recently wanted to get involved with also helping with the children's effort. And so there's different things that Sammy is doing as well, and the youth leadership program that has been created, that they are thriving in that, and they are making a big impact on our community.
Yes, for sure. And we just held National Honor Society inductions, which was so awesome because we had over 200 people inducted, and then I know that our current officers of NHS got to lead the ceremony, which is really cool to see from a student's perspective, to see other students leading the ceremony.
Absolutely, and that's just a testament to our school academically and to the level of work and just skill that our students have. I mean, we have well over 400, pushing 500 total members, and that's new and current members in National Honor Society, which is somewhere in the range of 15 to 20% of our student population. And that far exceeds the national scale ratio, which is about 10% of students. So we're overachieving and exceeding beyond what the national standards are when it comes to the number of students that are involved in that organization. And so it's a very proud day with the induction ceremony, and just so happy to see as many students that we have that are involved in that.
Yes, and heading into some sports updates, I know the baseball team had a big win over Gardendale, and Braden Edmondson even pitched a no-hitter, which is awesome.
Yeah, what a great way to start the beginning of the season, but also to actually start our time in our new baseball stadium. And Braden really did a great job, and just it was kind of quiet through the game that he was doing it, but everyone started getting really excited towards the end of the game, and we were able to finish, and he was able to finish with that no-hitter and get a big win over a good Gardendale team. And our JV boys too also had a big win against Gardendale earlier that day, and so very proud of them.
Yes, and our softball team is also having a really successful season so far. They had big wins over Calera and Brookwood, and not only did they win, they dominated. The score was 22-0, which is
between both, and it would have been, it would have been worse. But there's a mercy rule, and so you get to the fifth inning, and if you've got a 10-run lead, they'll call the games. Well, that happened in both of those games with our varsity softball teams, and so. They've definitely came out of the gate at the beginning of the season very hot. They're hitting the ball really well, so very proud of what varsity softball has done so far.
Yes, and JV is also doing very well, as they also had wins over Calera and Brookwood, it's great to see even our younger players are doing well, because they're just going to come up to varsity and do the same thing that varsity is doing.
Of course, and that's the key to ongoing success and building off of what has already been accomplished. And so having the youth and the freshman teams, the JV teams do so well, and even the middle school teams, having success, that's just a lot of promise and a lot of excitement for the future.
Yes, and our varsity team, our boys varsity soccer had a big win over Westminster last Friday night, which was awesome, because soccer has also started off their season very well, and all of our spring sports are just starting off very successfully.
They are, and one thing about the varsity boys soccer win over Westminster is a defending state champion in their classification, so they're a very good team, very strong team, and for us to get that win over them was a great win, just from the standpoint of beating a really good team, but it was also a great confidence booster for our young players on the varsity team, and so they're going to use that as a lot of momentum heading deeper into the season as they get into area play.
Yes, and our boys freshman team also had wins over Pelham and Montevallo, and that's just another team that's going to continue to step up to JV and varsity and continue to dominate. Sure,
our boys freshmen has had a lot of success, and they continue to rack up wins. As you recall, in our last shout out, we talked about them winning the Lakeshore Shootout tournament, which was a huge tournament. A lot of great teams, and so the freshman boys team they're really doing well and poised for a lot more success this season.
Yes, and our JV girls also had a win over Helena, and they tied with Chelsea, and it's awesome that they're able to play both of those teams who are great competition and still do well. Sure,
our JV girls teams, and then also our freshmen girls teams. They both are doing very well. I know with our freshmen, they had a big win over Montevallo last night and had a big win over Helena last week, just like the JV girls did. And so both of our young youth girls teams are doing very well, and our varsity girls are playing well too. They're competing and they're playing some tough competition right now, but they're going to continue to improve and get better as we go along in the season.
Yes, and our girls tennis team had a successful win, and I know that they're all so excited because having our own courts for tennis, this is the first year we've had our own courts for our tennis team. Before they were playing at Municipal, you know, where they shared the city courts, and I know that that had to make a difference in their win.
It did, and just the fact that we get to be on campus and practice and work and have a true home court advantage now,
Yes.
which is great, but that kind of is under the radar a little bit, and it shouldn't be how special it was to be able to host a tennis event on our campus, on our courts, and then our varsity girls to pull off a win against a good Pell City team last night was very special. So that, you know, our tennis program has got a bright future, and
sure.
We're excited to see what they're going to be able to do this season.
That's all for today's Warrior Shoutout. Keep tuning in for more updates on what's going on at Thompson.